Alright, we returned to a really cool deck today. This is what I originally called Mono Green Storm. I guess we can't really call that now that it's a two-colored deck. But what we're doing in this one is trying to make big creatures, trying to draw a bunch of cards, and trying to kill our opponent all in one turn. So there's three aspects to this deck. Number one is we need to deploy creatures. There are three types of creatures, 8 in total in this deck. We're running essentially 8 copies of the same creature. For 3 mana, we can cast Marwyn. She's a 1/1 that gives us some mana equal to her power. Cameo of Whispered Hopes is also 3 mana, also a 1/1, and also gives us mana of any one color, so a slightly better version of this effect. And then finally, we have one of Cradle Clearcutter, a 6 mana 3/6 that allows you to, wouldn't you guessed it, add an amount of mana equal to its power. You can also cast this one for 3, and instead of a 1/1, you get a 1/3 with the same ability. So the idea with these cards is they're good at making mana, but only if you can make them big. Now, there is a very, very good complement to these cards, which is best summed up by Arachnoid Adaptation, a 1 mana instant that allows you to combat trick a creature, giving it +2/+2 and reach, or some other effect, but it has the critical text on it that you untap that creature as well. So what that means is with your Cameo of Whispered Hopes as a 1/1, you can tap it for 1 mana to cast that Arachnoid Adaptation, and you can basically turn your Cameo into a 3/3 and untap it so that you can tap it for mana again. And so essentially, you've put in 1 mana and gotten a Dark Ritual out for your Arachnoid Adaptation. So it's pretty good, but only if you can keep your Camis and Marwyns and Clearcutters on the battlefield. Now, we're running a lot of types of these effects, and they all do different things. Arachnoid Adaptation for 1 mana gives you +2/+2 reach and untaps. Boon of Boseiju here just gives you +X, where X is the largest, most expensive thing you control. For us, that's going to basically just be 3 unless we have a Clearcutter on the battlefield. And then this one also untaps. Bull's Strength is a very important one because when our creature is big enough to attack, we have to make sure that it can get through, so this one gives it Trample. Same sort of thing, +2/+2 untap. And then Witch's Web, +3/+3 for 2 mana and gains reach, also untaps. So very good things going on here. We have basically 4 effects that we're looking to work with. So that's how we're making our creature big. We know what the creatures are. Now how do we tie this together? Well, we're going to do it with card draw. And in the original version of this deck, what I was doing is playing Return of the Wild Speaker and Rishkar's Expertise. I think about 6 instances of those cards, which allow you to draw cards equal to, you guessed it, the greatest power among creatures you control. So, you make your Marwyn big, you cast your Return of the Wild Speaker. If they don't Shieldred's Edict you are so good. That generally allows you to draw into effects that allow you to win the game. We can also do a very similar thing with Staff of Domination. Now, this one's good because it's not only an infinite mana outlet, which we might eventually get with the 5 tap draw card, but it also helps us make infinite mana because for 1 mana you can untap the Staff of Domination. For 3 mana and tapping the Staff of Domination, you can untap a target creature. So if your creature is producing 5 or more mana, you now have infinite mana. So, and then obviously with Staff of Domination itself, then you can draw your deck. So you're just totally good. So this is one very slow way on Arena to go ahead and draw your deck, and then Return of the Wild Speaker and Rishkar's Expertise basically just get you your deck in big chunks. You got to be careful to not overdraw and deck yourself, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, let's talk about how this deck is different than the original version. Obviously, we're playing black now. The reasons for that is that Demonic Tutor is just a nuts card and represents both, card draw if we need it, another one of our pretty few spread creatures, or it can be the Staff of Domination that we need to win the game. We also get Assemble the Team to essentially do the same thing, and Assemble the Team not only allows us to proactively find pieces, but it allows us to get through some of the hate pieces that are going to prevent us from winning the game. Namely, anything that hates on card draw, so Orcish Bowmasters or Shieldred, and we basically have 1 removal piece for each of those. For Shieldred, we have Assassin's Trophy. This is going to kill a Shieldred and give us that window to draw a bunch of cards. Culling Ritual, another one, allows us to destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less, so this removes all Bowmasters and their tokens. And it also ramps you a little bit, so sometimes this is good. This is also going to help you with any Elf Ball kind of strategies as well. So that's the deck. One new thing that we also get is in the land base the underground mortuaries to surveil, but otherwise this is pretty stock for a 2-color deck. So this is our Staff of Domination, quote-unquote mono green control deck. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Should be a lot of fun. Deck list will be in the video description if you're interested in seeing it and trying it for yourself. And before we hop into round one, just make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, nothing else to do other than hop in here and play some games. So let's get into round one. Alright, here's the opener. We have a Cradle Clear Cutter in hand, which is pretty good, and then Culling Ritual does deal with some of the removal that we might face. Or sorry, some of the hate bears that we might face. We do have one untappable spell, and we're likely to draw more over the course of the first few turns. Seems decent. Opponent goes Arboreal Grazer. I'm kind of feeling like this is lands. Not necessarily seeing the Stomping Ground. We'll see. Windswept Heath finds me something to surveil with, so we'll just do that now. I don't think the knowledge is worth very much here. We find Overgrown Tomb, which does help us towards the Rishkar's Expertise, but I don't think that we really need more mana. Once we get the Clear Cutter down, we're pretty good to start going. We would really just like to find anything that helps us draw more cards, so, you know, more of those to the top, please. Alright, they are also with the Surveillance. Apparently a big decision. So we see Giant. Cavern of Souls means that this is definitely going to be a Primeval Titan deck. Now we got to worry about next turn a Primeval Titan coming down. Okay, so another Underground Mortuary. I mean, we kind of just have to rock this now. Takenuma. Again, we just want card draw. That's not going to be it. With Cradle Clear Cutter, we get very close to being able to go off with Rishkar's Expertise. Culling Ritual doesn't really do anything for me, but it would protect me against what is it called? The Natural Order into another Primeval Titan. Double Field of the Dead, they don't trigger yet, so that's nice for me. Move to my turn, we take a bunch of damage. Finally, Season's Growth is here. I think that we go land, play Clear Cutter. Next turn we cast Season of Growth and then just go for it. With that extra card draw we should be able to make things work, but we'll see. They go Once Upon a Time looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, their 7th land. They do find it with Windswept Heath. They should be able to make 4 zombies here at least, plus I think another 8 with Primeval Titan. Yeah, they are just looking good here. That channel doesn't really do much. We get hit for a bit of damage here. Now the problem is we need to tangle with a lot of the 2/2 zombies here from Field of the Dead. They only find a 3rd Field of the Dead. Oh, but it's to make sure that they have a Windswept Heath. We're definitely not blocking here. We go to 13, and next turn is going to have to be a great combo turn for us if we want to win. Alright, so we will rock the Dark War Pathway on green. We don't need that much black mana. Here's a Season of Growth. We're going to float some mana here, go for the Arachnoid Adaptation here, draw. Alright, another Arachnoid Adaptation is great. Let's continue to make some mana here, and I think we will get to Rishkar's Expertise here, which is going to go off for us. Here's 5 mana, full strength, and we'll go until we miss on one of these targeting spells. And then we just rock Rishkar's Expertise with a little bit of mana held up here. Draw 7. Hopefully we find something good. There's always Culling Ritual as well. What would I like to cast? I think that Demonic Tutor seems good. We can go for another Rishkar's Expertise here, which I think is the move. Or we can just go Staff of Domination, tap all their creatures, and win the game. Cool, so we will Staff of Domination here. And now we just need to demonstrate our win. Let's untap the clear cutter. And we'll just watch for when we need to draw more cards. But if we don't draw another Rishkar's Expertise before our creature gets bigger than the number of cards in our library, we just use Staff of Domination to make it work. Which is web. Here we go. We just gotta focus on making this thing bigger than a 20/20 first. More mana, Bull Strength. Here we go. They do have Windswept Teeth here, so we do need to make sure that it is at least +6. I'll just go like way further. I can also just Culling Ritual as well prior to combat, so that's fine. Doesn't really matter though. Anyway, let's go ahead and assemble the team now. Just looking for a way to draw more cards in bulk. Rishkar's Expertise, perfect. So we have a 14-16, 31 cards left in library. We are good to do this. And now we should be fine. So let's go with Season of Growth. Actually, Season of Growth is not a good one because it's a forced draw. I think we'll just grab one of these guys. Boom, boom. 16 cards left, so now we just go manually and should be good. Which is web are the best ones to cast here because those are the biggest bang for our buck in terms of damage. Bull Strength, give it more trample. And 22-24. We can go Arachnoid Adaptation here, but I want to float my mana first. Having a Green Sun Zenith or something like that would also be pretty good. Or not Green Sun Zenith, but the other Finale would be good. We don't necessarily need it, but it's always good to know. Basically, prior to combat, we can just use Staff of Domination to do anything that we need to do. So I should honestly be fine just waiting and holding my mana up. We'll assemble the team. Pick an instant or two, try to use our all of our mana. Nothing that we really want here. We'll take the Staff of Domination. 11 cards left. Do we have anything left to target with? We do not, so what we'll do is Cradle Clear Cutter. We'll demonstrate the untap target creature. Untap Staff combo. We have 80 mana here to work with. Untap target creature. Untap Staff. And then we go tap target creature. And with their Windswept Teeth, they'll get 6 power. We have 27, so we should be good. Untap Staff. Tap target creature, and we got to do this 8 more times. Untap Staff. Oh, not untapped. I wanted to tap target creature. Yikes. There we go. Untap. Tap. Untap. Tap. Untap. Tap. Untap. And because they could potentially grab something weird here, I'm gonna probably just do this a little bit more fully and draw a few cards with Staff of Domination just to make sure that I have every way to win the game possible. Tap target creature. Untap Staff. I mean, they should just float all their mana here, but they're just really playing to try to do something last minute to me, so I gotta think about what's possible. They actually do win if they find Field of the Dead somehow. Do need to watch out for that. Not sure that I know of a way in Timeless to get a land at instant speed other than a fetch, but this fetch can't find the Field of the Dead. We continue to untap. Now we draw some cards. Draw a card. Alright, Boon of Seiju, perfect. Make it bigger. Down to 10 cards. Alright, and they know that we can go above the last little few zombies that they can put on the battlefield. Cool. Executed the combo. Opponent was good to, you know, play to their outs and make us actually demonstrate the full length of our combo. Would have been pretty unfortunate there if I went in with the 27-27 and they were somehow able to make 4 zombies. Alright, cool. Great round 1. We were able to combo. I am happy. Now here comes round 2. Alright, this is round 2. This time we start with a Marwyn, but no way to draw cards. Opponent's a Lurrus deck, which is pretty scary. These decks are going to probably have single target removal. I think that it would be smart to mulligan for Season of Growth. But we're going to keep 7 and see what happens. It's for science, right? I expect to see a lot of DRCs, a lot of Death Shadows, and maybe just a lot of damage coming my way. Alright, so this is a situation where we are not in the driver's seat. I now need to get Marwyn onto the battlefield. And then unfortunately the way that these work, they are not until my next turn. So unfortunately I can't combat trick save Marwyn from damage because she'll die at the end of the turn. I can do it on the turn that I'm trying to combo, but I can't do it, like, you know, on their turn to save her. Well, we're getting rid of everything that does not involve drawing cards. And then we're just hoping that we survive enough to get to play our Marwyn. I'm really not feeling like this is going to be the way that this goes, though. We'll keep it back in a raid. They are just burning here. This is feeling like a pretty bad situation to be in. Season of Growth is great. Here we go. We're going to try to get this Marwyn out and scry. Scry looking for another Marwyn. So basically Marwyn just needs to survive a turn, which is the hardest part of this deck. You could consider running like a reanimate or something like that, honestly, for this. But then, no, that wouldn't work either because you need it to be instant speed. Yeah, I'm not really sure if we would want to add a reanimation aspect to it, but it is something that we could consider. Now, we have seen them drop off a Skewer the Critics, and they have 1 card left in hand, which does give me a little optimism that Marwyn might survive. Gonna have to shock an Overgrown Tomb now. Puts me at 11. Then I am at a 2-turn clock here with that Etching and the Dragon's Rage Channeler. So that's really unfortunate. We need a untapped land here in the worst of ways. Resolves. Oh, it's just another Marwyn. Well, we got a shock here. And I think that our way to victory is unfortunately going to be a 0% chance at this point. They'll have to not kill Marwyn and not, you know, just Etchings me. Return of the Wild Speaker, we basically just have to keep optimistically for if we get a turn back. But I think we just die. There's an Orcish Bowmasters, which is our, I hate this card, unfortunately. Or like our worst nightmare card. Looks like things aren't really going to matter here. My end game plan of Return of the Wild Speaker plus triggering Season's Growth a bunch of times would have been absolute murder with Orcish Bowmasters on the battlefield. So this is going to be our shining example of what our deck cannot beat. Except with finding our Culling Ritual. Culling Ritual goes absolutely ham on this board, and that's why we have tutors to find it, hopefully. So, came honestly not very close, but you know, it's a good way to see different aspects of the deck. We'll go into round 3 and hopefully find that winning aspect side of things. Well, speaking of good hands, we're starting round 3 with what seems to be a pretty solid one. It's everything that we need. But unfortunately, we're playing DRC again. Underground Mortuary has to look for a land. We don't find the land, so we bin a Season's Growth, especially because we have another one in hand. We gotta get lucky here, though. Consider. You got it. This DRC is going to put me on a path to death that I do not want to be on. Unholy Heat also in this deck. They binned it, which means that they probably have removal in their hand. This Marwyn may not be long for this world. Second DRC. They are looking to fast track this Surveil. Alright, so if Marwyn doesn't work out, we have another try at things. Here's Season's Growth. Hopefully another land rips off the top here for me. Otherwise, we are playing from behind against a deck that really wants to play out in front. So this is going to be a tough sell if we don't get the land draw. One land draw is potentially recoverable for. Two non-land draws are pretty much GG, I would say, at this point. Like, against these very aggressive aggro decks like Arclight Phoenix, we are just so very much hoping that we can have a Marwyn have her stick, which honestly is a lot to ask in a high-powered format like Timeless. I believe that's 2 spells? No, just 1. This should be the second, right? They're looking for another land. Seems like it's pretty likely we just get bonked with 2 Arclight Phoenixes here. Alright, and what happens now? Did they find the land? It would be really great for me if they didn't. That's the 3rd Arclight Phoenix, my god. And there's Spirebluff Canal. Let's find an opt. Faithful Suiting is just fine. I think we can probably just chalk this one up as GG here. If for some reason they were to give me another turn for just the fun of it, we could potentially combo off after playing a Marwyn, but I think we're just going to watch this one end in flames. Well, at the very least, this is the updated Arclight Phoenix deck. You get to see it with Treasure Cruise, which is new since the days that Arclight Phoenix was given to us in Ravnica. Get Unholy Heat now that we're in Timeless. Yeah, I mean, I'm at 4 life now. Didn't even draw what we need. Let's make their DRC a little bigger. And we'll say, you have this game, opponent. Its opponent's going to hit me for another 15. And yeah, I mean, we're ending this game with a Season of Growth and 2 lands on the battlefield. It's bad enough dying on turn 4, but to do so with such a poor board state is unfortunate. Alright, so I think we've seen enough of the downsides of this deck. I'm hoping that this next round is going to give me something that is worth it here. Alright, here comes round 4. Well, like in that last round, I am once again given an absolute temptation of a hand. 2 lands going into Season of Growth with everything else that we want to have in our hand. I guess we could just find one single target spell, or one of the targeting spells. But those are the most likely things for us to draw, so I'm going to keep this one once again and pray that Cameo Whispered Hopes gets to come out. Hope my opponent's not on anything too crazy. Tiny Bones is here. Hoping Tiny Bones is not the predominant theme of this deck. Discard wouldn't necessarily be terrible now that I think about it a little bit, but I'm really just not happy with playing mono black in general. Flooded Strand. Okay. Drago Control is probably not our strong suit, but look at, we drew the thing that we needed to draw. We're going to drop a Season's Growth here, see if that's allowed to stick. I can test the waters later with a Staff of Domination as well. We're very close. Opponent taking some time on deciding to activate this Flooded Strand. I hope it's that they're just grabbing something and not fully AFK, but we will see how that goes. I'd like to not have to re-record this intro. But, you know, if I gotta do it, I gotta do it. Opponent does click on their Flooded Strand after a little bit. We are in. Now let's see what colors they're playing. Undercity Sewers, okay. Possibly Control. Oh, it's actually just Mill. That's really bad. Yeah, we're going to mill 10 here. So So we're stuck between a hard rock. Okay, I couldn't even speak that correctly. We are stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Cameo of Whispered Hopes comes down. Doesn't matter what we scry. Season of Growth will be getting milled no matter what. I think I'd rather get the second copy of that milled. We need Arachnoid Adaptation or a similar card. I'm seeing two. Only two of those hit the graveyard actually, which is pretty good. Were I worried about mill very much, I would put a, what is the name of that card? Guy's Blessing in the deck, but, you know, alas, that's not going to be what goes on here. Beseiju here. We would have enough for Return of the Wild Seeker. Unfortunately, it'd be a bit small. Cameo of Whispered Hopes number 2 does get me Rishkar's Expertise. Again, would still be too small, so it's just going to be Staff of Domination, get it into 1. The closer we move the goalposts, the better, in my opinion. Staff of Domination can also gain us a little bit of life, which will not be important in this game, but is something to consider. Cameo of Whispered Hopes again. Unfortunate. We can draw a card. I think just looking for our untappers is going to be the big one here. One or two of those, and I think we're solid. Could be a Stifle deck, honestly. Witch's Web is what we want to see. I'm potentially trying to also have a second cameo on the battlefield. I need to understand if they play Drown in the Lock. Okay, so they do that. Glad we're getting these out of the hand early enough. But yeah, very, very slow game here until we can start to pop off. They weirdly didn't play anything the last turn. I'm like very confused about that. Good take by them to use Flooded Strands as their fetch lands for this deck. You know, there are on-color Polluted Deltas, right? But Flooded Strand does give the indication of control, which definitely makes you play a bit different than essentially against an aggro deck, which mill you could consider very aggressive. But for an aggressive deck, they seem to not really be playing many cards, which is good for me. They might be foreseeing some sort of combo out of me, and they would be right to do so. But honestly, I'm legitimately confused. Like, why are we just not casting your Tasha's Hideous Laughter number 3? I'm sure it's in there. We only have 25 cards left in deck, which means that we're going to be very close to the wire here. Luckily, Staff of Domination out on the battlefield already is great. We just have to get the Cameo of Whispered Hopes big enough. They might just be AFK. I don't really know what's going on here. We're given our turn here, and I am, you bet, going to use it. Here's Cammy. We're going to Surveil with Windswept Heath after we scry, that is. Oh, they're going to Drown in the Lock this. Okay. Sure. So that's probably why they're not proactively playing anything. One more chance to Surveil. Let's find something good here. Is this Stifle, really? No, they have it. Okay. Assemble the team. Do we want that? It is a little bit too expensive for what we want to be doing. We don't have anything with Storm, so it's not good that way. Yeah, not feeling super great about this one right now. I think we've just been that. And, yeah, you can do that. We'll pass. We'll again have 5 mana. Archive Trap. Oh no. Okay, well, there goes 13 cards. And now I think we can safely consider this one a little bit sketch. Archive Trap number 2 kills me, and they do have it, so we are going to succumb to mill one more time. Some unfortunate bad beats so far today, but you know, this is definitely a proactive deck that does not exactly thrive in the current meta. It is what it is, though. We're all about showing the ups and downs of each deck. They do get to put an Archive Trap on the top. You got it. And then we're just going to go ahead and move to our turn. All right. Oh wait, that was at the end of our turn, so they can just pass back. Cool. Alright, so we are dead in round 4. I'm hoping that we can at least bookmark this one with a good round 1 and a good round 5. Let's see if we can do that. Here comes round 5. Alright, this is round 5, 5th and final attempt. We have Kami, we have Culling Ritual, and we have Bull Strength. Let's give it a try. All we need is that card draw we were talking about. And we do have enough single target buff spells in order to make it work once we draw it. We will have, I think, about exactly 5 mana, so it's not quite enough. We need one more of these cards and then we're good. It would be a 6/6 when it untaps, which is just enough to cast Rishikar's Expertise and not have enough mana after. But if I get Kami down and then start with the Witch's Web, we will be fine. So we are poised to go off here, although we will need to hit an Arachnoid. Ledger Shredder, here we go. There's the Arachnoid adaptation, so this could be it. Let's get a Kami out and see if they tap out here. If they tap out, we should be able to win the game. Please God, no. Aw, man. I think our stuff's dying. Just do something aggressive. Ah, no, they're sending it back. Okay. Knowing that they play Stern Dismissal is a huge problem right now because all of our hard work can be removed at once. Ledger Shredder can die to Culling Ritual. If they end up committing to the board very much, I do have that as an opportunity. Especially if they try to scale the Ledger Shredders. I am definitely worried about Shock, though I'm glad they didn't use Shock to kill my Kami. Dig through time, and they take a blind draw here. Okay, so we'll go Kami. We have the ability to fetch whenever we want to here. Again, opponent will be dead if they just commit to the board and don't do anything about my board state. And I hope my board state just with the 1/1 is at least a little bit innocuous. Snapcaster Mage on Lightning Bolt, baby. There it is. Yeah, so my Arachnoid adaptation unfortunately doesn't kill Kami, even if it were to be another thing. Anyway, I think we might just snap off this Culling Ritual next turn. So now we surveil looking for another creature. Last opportunity of doing so. That's not it. And then I think we take this next draw and Culling Ritual. And then we just top deck until the end of time. Alright. Move to my turn. Witch's Web. Unfortunately not the move here. We are only going to make 2 mana off of this Culling Ritual, sadly. Double black. And we'll pass. Getting very close to Rishikar's Expertise hard cast. Just gotta find our creature. Geralf is here. This is going to be very, very problematic for me. Geralf, definitely not a common one to see in these, well, not necessarily is it, but these draw 2 cards a turn decks. Here's Kami, we have another chance. I believe. Never say never, right? Another Snapcaster Mage still does it, I believe. I mean, we're just showing a little 1/1 here. Like, what could be so scary about it? Let's see what this last card is. It's a Snapcaster Mage? No, that sucks. I hope it's not. Oh, just a Dig Through Time. They maintain 2 mana here, though, so I'm probably not keeping this Kami around, sadly. That sucks. They don't have Delirium. I mean, one of these has to be removable, right? They looked at so many cards. That was not it, actually. Okay. We're getting close, we're getting close. The jig's not up yet. Oh, they tapped it. Oh, Surveil again, they're tapped out. This could be the one. This I think is going to be the one actually. We'll just tap down their whole board and get in for 18. I am so in. Let's go. We are not blocking here. We are comboing out. Let's get it. Tap to make mana. Draconode adaptation here. Tap to make more green mana, which is web. Tap to make more mana, which is web. Tap to make more mana, which is web. Untap. Make some black mana here. Cast Assemble the Team first. We are probably just interested in taking our artifact if we could find it. We unfortunately don't. Here's Rishkar's Expertise. Or I think what I'll do is just... I think Season of Growth is probably decent. So then I'll cast Rishkar's. And there is Staff of Domination, so we are good. Let's cast that. Staff untap. Alright, then tap some mana. Let's just not bother with Season of Growth right now. Buna Beseiju, here we go. We'll assemble the team here for another Rishkar's Expertise type effect. Return of the Wild Speaker is the one that we want to do. This will draw me 28 cards. 6 plus cast this. Cool, 28 cards exactly. That is exactly what we want to be doing. Bing, bang, bomb. And then we want to find our 5 spell, Return of the Wild Speaker, draw cards. And here we go. 3 cards left in deck, I believe. Boon of Beseiju. Make more green mana. And, oh god, I cannot find this. Find all these cards so hard. We are now over 19 mana. They don't have anything else to do here, so I'm just going to go ahead and make the mana untap our guy. And now we just got to do that annoying thing of tapping down their board. Untap Staff. Tap target creature. Untap Staff. Tap target creature. Untap Staff. Tap target creature, and thankfully opponent will save me a little bit of Carpal Tunnel here. Alright, so we were actually successful, believe it or not. I know that is sometimes hard to tell, but this is literally just been a 5-game stretch. I show you guys things as they are typically, unless we get too many of the same bad beats in a row or too many of the same victories. Yeah, I mean, hey, this was really, really nice. Good 5 games. I think we got some really, really powerful wins, but we also got good reminders of this is a competitive format, and you can't really just come in with any random deck of cards and hope to win. Yeah, good wins, decent losses, overall great deck tech. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to check out the deck list in the deck list description below if you want to try this one for yourself. And make sure to do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. We've recently just made it over the 500 subscriber threshold, which is super great, on the road to 1,000 now. So, you know, definitely appreciate any new viewers of the channel to drop a subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. With that being said, that is all for me. So I will see you in the next one when I'm back with another deck.